Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Carolyn. Happy New Year. I know that for many of us, 2022 is a tough year for a number of reasons. And I used to say one of them being we're in the middle of a pandemic, but I don't know if we're still in the middle, if we're in the end, or if we're just in the first third. It's hard to know. Anyway, I want to say Happy New Year because I still have hope that 2022 will be a different year for sure. We know that. So today I'm bringing you step 5 of the 5 steps to recovery. Now, over the past 4 videos, I've been preparing you for step 5, which is kind of the dynamite step. The previous steps we've talked about is the first step, which is this conquering your behaviors, superficial behaviors, and that video addressed what you can do about compulsive overeating, binge eating, food obsessions, emotional eating, and so on. And then step 2 was all about managing or learning how to deal with the emotional soup, because we know that emotions are a big driver for eating behaviors and also for body dissatisfaction. So if you missed either of those videos, feel free to go back and check in because each step builds on the step before. Step 3 was accessing your body's wisdom. And I always say that the body is a reservoir of all the wisdom you need in order to run your life and to make any changes you want to make. Your body tells you when to be afraid, when you're feeling comfortable. Your body tells you when you're hungry and when you're full. And many times we don't listen to the body, but the body's still out there talking to us, trying to help us. So step 3 was about embracing your body's wisdom. And step 4 was about identifying your core beliefs. And these core beliefs often are associated with primal needs, like the need for attention, affection, safety, security, all of those primal needs. And usually core beliefs were formed when you were younger and may have gone through some heavy duty stuff like abuse or neglect or major upheavals in your life. So in those past videos, you've learned about the dealing with behaviors, the emotional soup, core beliefs, and body sensations, and how all of that relates to your food and body image issues. So each of these previous levels was really to prepare you for level 5, which I'm going to talk about now. And step 5 is how to reach soul satisfaction. So at some point, you may have come to realize that your food and body image issues can't be fixed by a diet. And in fact, that they really have nothing to do with food. So you may have come to realize that there is a deeper root cause behind these food and body image issues. And when you have tried diets in the past, even though you may have had temporary success, usually you end up regaining your weight and then some. So all of this adds up. When we look at the big picture, it's all about like healing from your food and body image issues really come down to being able to be fully who you are, to be more of your authentic self, no matter what your size or shape is. So when you find soul satisfaction, you will be able to bring it into all areas of your life, including your relationship with food and how you feel about your body. So here's an example from another patient of mine named Erica. Erica, her father was a larger than life figure who did everything to extremes, including drinking. When he drank, he was often violent or threatening towards her mom and sometimes towards her. When she came home from school, she never knew whether she would feel safe or whether she'd have to hide in her room to avoid his rage. Now, this insecurity followed her into her adult life, and her fear and her core belief that she wasn't good enough it kept her from pursuing the job she dreamed of as an ICU nurse. In the Anchor program, she was able to recognize that the insecurity and fear came from her childhood. By reconnecting to her unrealized passion, she found other areas of her life falling into place as well, including being able to conquer her food and body image issues. So, what is soul satisfaction? Well, I'm not talking about anything religious. I'm really referring to the soul as part of what is inside of us that's unchanging and separate from all the chatter in our minds, the thoughts, the self-judgments, and the experiences of our day-to-day lives. No matter what you go through in life, this part of yourself is the part that remains without change, unblemished, and not tarnished by life's struggles, disappointments, betrayals, or pain. So, satisfying your soul is about living from who you truly are and being anchored to your essential nature. Now, I named my program the Anchor Program because being anchored is about being true to yourself and accessing your inner strength. Sometimes, as we've talked about many, many times in the past, life struggles can change you and take you off your path or make you lose focus in life. When you find your true anchor in life, though, you tap into a vast reservoir of intuitive, natural knowledge that will help you shift your beliefs, use your body sensations and body wisdom as cues, regulate your emotions without turning to food, and manage your behaviors. Without this deep well of knowledge in which body, mind, and soul are connected, you will continue to operate on those superficial levels, repeating past mistakes, reenacting old traumas, and living your life based on beliefs that no longer serve you. When the deeper urges of your soul or your spirit are not being met, it can feel as if you have this huge hole inside of you. And I've heard that from many, many patients that I've worked with in the Anchor program. I've mentioned before that food can often represent something that is missing in your life, and body dissatisfaction can do the same. You may unconsciously try to fill that hole, that void that's inside of yourself, or distract yourself from the void by focusing all your unhappiness on your body hatred. When you're able to live more from your authentic self, you feel like a storm-tossed sailor who has found a safe harbor in which to drop anchor. Hope you don't mind my sailing metaphors. I love sailing. Well, anyway, if that happens, you'll feel like you've come home to yourself. Now, how can you go about finding soul satisfaction? It's not something we can buy in the grocery store or order on Amazon even. If you've struggled with food and body image issues most of your life, your self-worth may be inextricably tied to the number on the scale or to whether you've had a good food day or a bad food day. By now, you may also realize that self-worth can't come from appearance or being a certain size or shape. True self-worth comes from your essence or your true self. And you can tell the difference from true self-worth and superficial self-worth by paying attention to what? Your emotions. Yep. Yet again, we have to pay attention to our emotions. When your life is a reflection of what you value most, what you love, you are more likely to be living a life of soul satisfaction. When you shift your focus from the number on the scale to fulfilling your soul's needs, it will shape everything in your life. Now, you may have forgotten or you may have left behind parts of your true self, dreams that you've had. Now is the time, though, instead of making yet another New Year's resolution that is probably not going to last past the first 90 days of the new year, why not focus on reclaiming the true essence of yourself and begin the process of reclaiming those parts of yourself that have been ignored, forgotten, or left behind, like Erica, for example, who had forgotten that she always wanted to be an ICU nurse. Whatever parts of the deeper urges of your soul you put aside, now is the time to revisit those urges and listen to your soul's needs. Now is the time to come home to yourself. Now, I've put a few questions in the show notes below, homework for you if you're interested, that will help you explore this key step to recovery from food addiction, emotional eating, or binge eating. Just journal about those questions, ponder them, and see if that helps you connect with those deeper urges of your soul or your spirit. I've also put in the show notes a link to the free book offer, which is still available for a short time. And this is for a free copy of my ebook, The Food Addiction Recovery Workbook. There is a small handling fee, so I want to be clear about that. I pay for the book, you pay the small handling fee. Also, I just want to leave you with the question that I ask all of my patients in the Anchor program, which is, if you were to live from soul satisfaction, how would your life be different? How would 2022 be different? What would you want to do differently? How would you want to feel? All of those things. See if you can ponder that as your New Year's reflection rather than resolution. I also want to remind you that we have an Anchor program starting in 2 weeks, and remind you that the Anchor program is a non-diet 12-week program, a 12-week intensive it starts with, and then goes on to a 6-month program. In the intensive, we help you get to the root cause of why you're experiencing food and body image issues. And in the 6-month program, we continue to offer this expert guidance and coaching for you so that you can stay accountable and build a structure that will work for the rest of your life. So if you're interested in finding out more and finding out whether you're a fit for the Anchor program, there's a link to set up a free consult to the Anchor program in the show notes. Now, the free consult will talk about your individual food and body image issues. It's not a sales call. It's to enable you to get some expert advice, no matter whether or not you join us in the Anchor program. So I hope you've enjoyed these 5 steps to recovery and that they've been helpful for you. This is the kind of work we do in the Anchor program. And I also want to ask you to share this video with anyone you think might benefit from it, and to give us as many stars as is possible so our rankings will be higher, and also to subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is Dr. Carolyn, again, wishing you Happy New Year and a healthy new year that's free from being on the diet treadmill and that gives you more joy than you ever expected. I'm signing off, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for listening.